Hello and welcome to another Java tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn how you can use Java Database Metadata class to pull the list of the tables from the database. It's a very cool feature in Java which allows you to look into the tables that you have created in the database or anybody else in an organization have created it, provided you have access to the database. On top of that, if you're building a database management system, it is a great tool to have access to. It's a very small piece of code. All you need to do is following. You establish the connection with the database pretty much like we did in our previous examples. So here we have our URL string. For this database, I do not have a username and a password. So connection string and the statement, both of these objects are connection and statement object are null. Inside the try-catch block, we first load the driver in the memory, and then using the driver, using the URL, we provide the username and the password and get connected to the database. That stuff is exactly the same as in previous examples. This is where things start to get a little different. That first of all, we create a database metadata object, which allows us to read information about the database. Then on line number 23, we create a result set object, which is now asking the result set metadata to give us the list of the tables. As you can see, it has many parameters. The first parameter is for catalog, the second one is a schema pattern, then you have a table name pattern, and finally the type of objects that you want to return. Now, since the database that I'm using is not as complicated as having catalogs and schema patterns and table name pattern, I directly wrote the types of the objects I want to retrieve, which I wrote a string array, and I said I want to read the tables only. I could read views, I could use synonym, I could read other objects, but I decided to read only the tables. Then the list of the tables is now sitting in the result set. As you know from the previous examples, the result set stores all the data and you need to retrieve it one by one. So I make I'm displaying an output list of tables in the database, followed by a counter so that every table I display one or two or three, a counter next to it, some kind of a number sequence. Then I start my result set.next, which allows me to traverse through the result set. It will automatically terminate the loop when result set runs out of values. So every time I run the loop, I display a number, a period, a space, and then I use my result set object to get the value from a field, which is table underscore name. So what happens is that here the database metadata returns collection of values or collection of columns to the result set, and one of those columns is table name. In my previous examples, I've shown you, for example, how to access the data from the database, where we looked into getString function, but I introduced to you a number. So you can actually retrieve values using numbers. Also, you can retrieve values using column names, provided you know the column name. So here I'm using the other approach. So result set.getString, and this is the name of the column. Its value will be retrieved and will be printed. So now let's see what the output looks like. So as I run this example, it goes into the database, and these are the two tables that I have in my database. Here is my database, and you can check here that as the database loads, those are the only two tables in my database, and here they are. And that's exactly what I'm pulling from the database. Now this stuff would work with any database. We've tested it with Oracle, DB2, SQL Server. It just works with everything. So the piece of code stays the same. All you need to change is the driver and how you access it. Username and password needs to be provided because a lot of those enterprise level databases require a username and password access. Hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.